Dark feminine energy is a reminder for women to reclaim their power. In the last few years, I have been able to regain my power by tapping into my dark feminine energy and constantly working on improving this embodiment. This has led me to analyze different characters to see their version of the Femme Fatale archetype, and through that get more familiar with this embodiment and activate it in myself. And in today's video, we will take a closer look at another Femme Fatale character, Julia from the movie The Original Sin, played by Angelina Jolie. This is a classic example of the Femme Fatale archetype, a woman whose allure and mystery captivate, yet whose motives and actions remain unpredictable and ultimately dangerous. This archetype, which has roots in classical literature and film noir, is defined by a complex blend of traits, including sensuality, mystery, deception, and a propensity for betrayal. And Julia has embodied those characteristics masterfully, making her an enigmatic and compelling figure in the film. And so let us dive into this passionate story. This is not a love story, this is a story about love, about those who gave into it and the price they pay, and those who run away from it because they are afraid or because they don't believe they are worthy of it. She ran away, he gave in. The Original Sin tells a story set in the late 19th century in Cuba during the Spanish rule. It flashes back and forth from the scene of a woman awaiting her execution while telling her story to a priest. Angelina Jolie plays a woman, Julia, who, along with her lover, plans to con a rich man, Luis Antonio Vargas, by marrying him, earning his trust, and then running away with all of his money. Everything goes as planned until she falls in love with him. And so let us start our analysis with point number 1, which is mystery. One of the most defining aspects of Julia's persona is her air of mystery. The character played by Angelina Jolie appears very mysterious from the very beginning of this movie. Notice how her first ever shot in this movie shows us this character in a way that is not truly visible. She is either hard to see because of the sun blinding the viewer or her big umbrella, and we have seen that in the movies before. The covering of the protagonist's face either by a hat, umbrella, or another thing, and this is making us already want to pay more attention to this person. It gives that goddess effect to every woman who uses it, and it makes us lean forward and try to get to know more of this woman. The air of importance and mystery that makes us want to get to know this person and find out more. This is the initial trigger of desire even in a non-romantic life situations, and I believe this is one of the most important power tricks. The power that we hold here is that someone desperately tries to get to know you, and this is you who decides how much is revealed. Especially if you present yourself in a feminine and alluring way, the more you cover, the more there is to discover about you, and the more the other person tries to win this knowledge. And so mystery adds a lot of depth to a character. And even though later in the movie we can fully see Angelina Jolie's character, she still has a much more reserved and mysterious energy to her. We get the impression that we can never really grasp this person, and that there is much more to her than what we already know. So there is a lot of adventure already in that relationship and a conquest to learn and discover more. And this brings us to the point number 2, which is being reserved. The way she holds back key elements of her identity and intentions highlights the reserved nature typical of a femme fatale, crafting an alluring veil that hides her true motives. This reserved nature makes Louis want to win her and get to know her, and this is a very powerful move that makes us create tension and desire in a relationship. Julia's reserved demeanor is not a sign of passivity, but rather a strategic choice. She withholds information and emotions, revealing only what she deems necessary to maintain control. This calculated distance creates a tension that keeps Louis and the viewer entranced, uncertain as to whether she is sincere or a master manipulator. Which brings us to the point number 3, which is unpredictable nature. The unpredictable aspect of Julia's character is central to her power. Her actions and decisions are difficult to anticipate, which only amplifies her allure and danger. Just as Luis believes he understands her, she changes direction, betraying him, eloping with another man, or reappearing with heartfelt declarations that blur the line between genuine love and manipulation. This volatility is a key feature of the Femme Fatale. It emphasizes the character's independence and refusal to conform to expectations. Julia's unpredictability serves not only to deepen the suspense of the story but also to highlight her autonomy. She is not merely reactive. She is an active agent of her own destiny, using her cunning and allure to manipulate circumstances in her favor. The unpredictable nature is a very central trait of the femme fatale archetype. There's always a part of unpredictable behavior in any femme fatale archetype we witness throughout the history of cinema: playfulness and adventure, not really playing by the rules. And this is another key element that adds a lot of depth to the character. Boredom kills attraction while adventure fuels it. Being always the proper and well-behaving woman, wife or girlfriend is not really interesting. And I believe this is possible to do in a more healthy and non-toxic way. After all, I always mention, if your motivation is to deepen the attraction in your marriage, your relationship, or seduce someone you are going to love, there is no wrongdoing in that. I also believe that discovering more flavors to our being can only make our personality and character richer. This is why I like doing those character breakdowns, as I believe we can get inspired and learn from all sorts of characters. The more power to you, the better, and this is up to your morality if you are going to use your power for good reasons or for bad reasons. Now, moving on, point number 4 is passionate and seductive. Passion is a crucial aspect of Julia's nature. Her physical and emotional intensity forms the backbone of her interactions with Luis, making the relationship even more complex. Her seductiveness is not only about physical attraction, but encompasses her charisma and how she plays it. She is not afraid to use her sexuality as a tool to achieve her goals, captivating Luis while masking her true intentions. And this trait is emblematic of the classic femme fatale, who often plays with the line between love and deceit. The passion Julia displays in this movie is more than a facade. It serves as both her greatest weapon and her vulnerability. And while she uses her emotions to ensnare Luis, moments of true connection and tenderness occasionally surface, leaving both Luis and us, the audience, questioning the extent of her sincerity. Those glimpses of genuine feeling deepen the complexity of her character, making it unclear whether her calculated actions are driven by ambition or if there is an undercurrent of love that motivates her. This ambiguity reinforces the femme fatale magnetic charm. She is neither the villain nor the victim, but a blend of both. And this brings us to the point number 5, which is the femme fatale duality. Julia's duality as both a victim and a perpetrator embodies the essence of the femme fatale archetype. And while she is undeniably manipulative, her backstory and motivations introduce shades of vulnerability. In the movie The Original Sin, we eventually learn about Julia's bad past, which informs her actions and lends her an aura of tragic complexity. This duality blurs moral boundaries, helping us to empathize with her while at the same time condemning her choices. And this is in this push and pull, rooted in Julia's unpredictable shifts between love and deception, that makes her such an attractive character. The final acts and the resolution of her relationship with Luis only proves this point very well. Julia's passion and unpredictability drive the plot to its climax, with the ultimate question lingering: was she ever truly in love, or was her involvement solely self-serving? The femme fatale archetype thrives on such questions, positioning Julia as a figure who can elicit both desire and dread, compassion and suspicion. And now, on a final final note, Julia in the original sin exemplifies the femme fatale archetype through her enigmatic presence, unpredictability, and the passionate, complex nature of her character. Her combination of mystery, control, and raw emotion crafts a compelling narrative that stays true to the traditions of the archetype while offering depth that resonates with us, the audience. Through Julia, the film explores themes of trust, betrayal, and the thin line between genuine affection and manipulation. And if you are unsure of the femme fatale archetype, of being worthy of discovering, or even morally sound, please check my video on dark feminine energy, where I go deeper explaining the dark feminine energy and the reasons why we should all learn to embrace it and embody it in ourselves. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.